half a mile, use the middle lane to stay on Michigan 5 West and follow signs for I-696 Port Huron.
Anyway, happy Wednesday, y'all. So I came because I got something really heavy on my mind today. I heard somebody say that they don't believe in generational curses.
Use the middle lane to stay on Michigan 5 West.
Y'all, I'm going somewhere, so I need my navigation, so I won't miss no turn. But anyway,
keep left to stay on Michigan 5 West.
Thinking, do people really know how hard it is to have to fight through negativity, growing up in the same household with it? When it's coming from your own bloodline, your own generation, the hate, the sibling hate, when you experience that, because everybody may not experience that, but a lot of people do. Growing up with toxic mothers, hateful mothers, mothers that don't like you. Growing up with cold-hearted fathers. Do y'all know how hard it is to have to fight, for a person to have to fight?
In half a mile, take the 12-mile road exit.
Just to maintain a sane mind. And then you'll wonder how a lot of people grow up with all these mental issues, with all these psychological infirmities, hooked on drugs, prostitution,
take the 12-mile road exit,
alcoholism. People turn to those things to cope, over sexualized activities. All of those people start.
Continue for 3/4 of a mile.
They start turning to those things for coping mechanisms because they've had to deal with something. I don't mean every single solitary person that end up turning to that path has had to deal with that, because you have your very small few that come from good households and just didn't appreciate it. Sometimes people go
in half
astray.
A mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto West 12-mile road.
Sometimes people go astray because that's just what they chose. But everybody didn't choose that. Some people have really been fighting to try to understand why they've been an outcast all their lives. Why they've been an outcast in their family. Why they didn't feel like they was a part of their own home. Why
at the light, like use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto West 12-mile road.
Was getting treated better than them. Why do they feel like, other people in the family, was being acknowledged for things they were being ignored and overlooked from, so just to touch on some of my own family curses. Everybody that know me personally know that I deal with spirituality now in my life. But when I was younger, my family have tried to use the same thing that people are calling spiritual gifts now against me so that they could take my children. This is something that I don't talk about that often, and I don't think I've ever talked about it. But I'm going to talk about it today. My own family tried to say I was crazy and wasn't mentally stable, so I should not have custody of my children. Yeah, that's what my spiritual gifts got me. So when I tell people that this was not
continue on West 12-mile road for 1 mile.
That was praised. When I was growing up, it was not. It was absolutely not praised. Because it turned into a stigma. You hear voices. She talking to them. Right now today, my mother's still going around telling people I talk to demons. You see what I'm saying? Do y'all know how hard it is when you're born back into this plane to a parent that's really dark as hell? Some of y'all mothers are dark witches. And I'm not saying witches are bad, but dark witches are. When you're dark all the damn time and everything you do is dark. When you dark towards your own damn kids and your own bloodline, you a dark witch and you're evil. Can you imagine dealing with seeds that's supposed to be your siblings? That's just like that. And you sitting here fighting against all this darkness. And you trying to figure out, well, why the fuck everybody against me? Then when you try to talk about it to other people, they looking at you like, well, you gotta be doing something. Ain't everybody that can't be against you for nothing. So you like, well, you try to think about yourself and you start thinking that something is wrong with you. Because it's not normal that people are always inflicting negativity upon you, or always trying to foreshadow you, or never want to acknowledge anything good about you. But when I tell you, even my own family, they will never acknowledge or speak out about anything good I do. But let me do something negative, or let me do something that other people, that they could use it and say, I told you she was crazy. The whole world gonna know about it. The whole world is gonna know about it. What I do experience was looked at as a mental illness. It was looked at as a mental illness. And my family tried to use that mental illness against me to take my children from me and adopt them out.
In a quarter mile, use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto 12 Oaks Mall Road.
That's what they did. Can you imagine being in that position, not having not one person fighting for you, fighting with you, on your side? When I tell you motherfuckers turn face
at the light,
right,
use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto 12 Oaks Mall Road. Then you will arrive at your destination.
I mean, they was going along with the program like I was some type of crazy child abuser. Yet I used to watch all their kids before I had children. Can you imagine? My own mother lied on me one night. They had it to where I couldn't even go visit my children. I thank my Uncle Troy for this much, because he was the only person that he was like really like he was like he was my uncle, but he was doing what my mother, which is his sister, should have been doing. You understand what I'm saying? But she was too busy fighting against me her damn self.
You have arrived.
She was too busy causing ruckus and lying on me. You understand? Calling people, telling them I was at my uncle's house, knowing that they was trying to keep me from over there. But my aunt was still allowing me to come over. They was taking turns with my kids. I went to court for 5 years to fight my own family for my kids. They don't know. Why don't nobody talk about that? See, my family ain't gonna talk about that. But they'll be quick to tell you, oh yeah, she crazy. Yeah, she this, she that. Anything negative. My grandmother, when she got to the point to where she couldn't live with herself no more, lived with me for 2 years. I took very good care of my grandmother. I didn't ask nobody for nothing. But they're not going to tell anybody that. But they'll talk about everybody else that helped take care of them. They helped take care of my mother and my father, but you don't hear my name ever come up. They'll go around and tell people my uncle raised my kids. What's doing that? That's a motherfucking lie. Anything good, my name will not come up. Any accomplishment I make, my name will not come up. They'll try to minimize it or foreshadow it, or they won't say nothing about it at all. But one time, I set a police car on fire. I blew up a police car. Okay? I was dating a police officer. This was years ago. And I found out that he was on some regular schmegula. What's new? So, I did the Angela Bassett. I set his fucking car on fire. Yeah, I went to jail for that. That man could have killed me because he was a certified police officer. I'm talking about task force. So he wasn't no rookie cop. He had some skin in the game. And I went to that man's house and I did that. But guess what? That got talked about for years and years. It never died down. That got talked about in public places in front of people. I'm just like, why are y'all broadcasting that I did that? Why would y'all be telling people? That ain't funny. That ain't even cool. But that's the type of stuff that people have to fight against. You want to smear my character and cause people to see me in a negative light, but you won't talk about nothing positive I've done. How about telling people that y'all mama lived in my house for 2 years for free and I didn't ask nobody for nothing? How about telling people that how I used to grocery shop for y'all parents out of my pocket, buy them groceries, fill up their refrigerator and their freezer, cook for them, take them out to eat, take them to their doctor appointments, pick up their medications and all of that. Tell that. But they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Do y'all understand the magnitude of what it takes for a person to have to fight against all of that dark energy? And you're growing up around people that only want you to be acknowledged by negative things. And anything positive you do, they'll try to act like it ain't that much, or they'll ignore it, which leaves you to feel valueless and worthless in your own home. And you got to grow up with that. So you know what happens after that? You start developing friendships and relationships with people who don't value you either. And a lot of y'all wondering why y'all stuck in these relationships where you don't feel loved and valued. Something went wrong in you. It may not have been that, but something went wrong in you. Something went wrong in you. But for the most part, a lot of people who had to grow up with that, don't want to see you with nothing. Help everybody else, but to watch you struggle and throw you crumbs. Yeah, that was my experience. That's why I don't go around people in my family like that. Because they fake as hell. I know they don't like me, and I know they talk shit, and I don't care, and they know I don't care. You understand what I'm saying? But I feel like it was time for me to speak on it. Because people don't know what you done had to fight through. What type of hell you done had to walk through. What type of cold, hot fire you done had to get your feet burnt on in order to walk to your best parts of your life. People don't know. They don't know. I done had people trying to act like somebody else raised my kids, telling people all in the family out of town that like I was just somewhere hanging out at karaoke while my uncle was doing every goddamn thing. Yeah, I went to karaoke, but I had my kids every day up until people in the family started shit and I couldn't go around my kids. I got into a fight with my uncle that's on the other side now because of my mother. They had it to where they didn't even want me around my own kids, trying to say because I hear voices and see things that I was crazy and unstable and mentally unstable. Yeah. So what is now known as a spiritual gift, yes, that was not looked at that like that. This is why I get offended about a lot of things that people come around me doing at this point in my life. Because it's like I've been knowing you for 20 years. And this ain't never been our conversation. I was hiding the shit because I thought it was abnormal to hear voices and see things. You understand what I'm saying? But when I decided to come out public with it, and I started helping people, realizing you ain't crazy, girl. These people really, you seeing what you seeing, you hearing what you hearing. I always knew I was seeing what I was seeing and hearing what I was hearing. But I'm telling you, I done been through in mental institutions as a young person. I done been in group homes. All because I was accused of having mental illness because I'm able to hear voices and see shit. And I was being told that demons was giving me information when I was younger. That ain't God doing that. That ain't no ancestors. That's them demons giving you information. That's what I was told. And as a result, my own family tried to take my kids from me, and my mother was the ringleader. But you know, now, coming through all of that, looking back, you got to think about it. She didn't raise, you know, the family trying to act like I didn't raise my kids, which is a goddamn lie. They got me confused with my mother. She's the one who didn't raise most of her children. She had two of them, the two youngest ones, you know, and they was with their father a lot. But I got three other siblings that she did not have, with my baby brother being included in that. So why would you try to help take my children from me when you still sitting up in your 60s, drinking every damn day, swearing up and down everybody took your kids from you, but you gonna sit around and watch and provoke the situation for them to do the same motherfucking thing to me? Don't tell me generational curses ain't real. Cause I fought for mine. Oh, I fought tooth and nail, and I threatened the social worker to the point to where she got a PPO against me and tried to show up at court. I had to go to freaking court for 5 years, y'all. 5 years. Because my family was rallying up against me to take my own kids from me. That's what you call a generational curse. You feel me? It's so much more to this. But I'm going to stop here because this is just part one. But when we talk about generational curses, this is what we're talking about. Right now, I don't talk to my family about anything I accomplish. They'll never know anything that I do. That's why I don't put nothing I do on Facebook. They don't support anything I do, and if they do, they quietly do it. That's some fake shit. If you can't support me out loud, go to hell. That's where I'm at with it. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because, now people have kids in the family and don't want people to be crazy about their children because they think somebody want their kids. Don't nobody want your children. I had my own. Why would I want somebody else's kid and I had my own? But I thought family you supposed to love. Who gets offended at somebody loving their child? You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, this is the type of shit people in this family do. I'm not pressed to have nobody's child. I just love babies in general because they're pure and they're not like a lot of these twisted, sick, dark, dirty, low-down, evil, hateful adults. That's why I love children. That's why. So I'm crazy about children in general. I don't want nobody's child because I had my own. And when I had my own, nobody in my family wanted to respect me as a mother. Nobody. I had to fight for my respect as a parent. You understand what I'm saying? But they don't talk about that type of shit. They ain't gonna talk about that though. They don't talk about that. Then they get mad when I talk about it. I don't give a flick. Just like when I wrote my first book, Girls Have Daddy Issues, Boys Have Mommy Issues, and I talked about how my mother had her crackhead, drunk-ass, white boyfriend breaking into my house and stealing my stuff and trying to make it look like a B&E so I could move out of my house and she could sell it and get the money back she loaned her drunk-ass boyfriend who owned a collision shop who needed to save his shop, so she gave him her money and wanted to put me out of my own house and make the money back. Oh, baby, all that. I put it in my first book. Yeah, they got mad and asked me if I gave a fuck because I didn't lie. You did it. Why, what you mad for? You should be apologizing. But see, when you have narcissistic family members and you come from a narcissistic parent or parents, you will never get that apology. You will never get it. You know why? Because 9 times out of 10, they'll never change. Because it's generational. That's why you have to change. That's why I had to change. That's why I had to change my number and disconnect from people, including people in this family. You ain't my family. You just happen to be related to me by default. But if you ain't never supported me, you ain't never stood by me when people was dogging me out, you ain't never stood by me when people was calling me crazy, you ain't never supported nothing positive in my life that I've done, you don't share none of my positive content, you don't whisper happy things or proud things about me, fuck you. You ain't my family. You ain't my cousin. You ain't my sibling. I don't give a fuck. You ain't my mama. You ain't my daddy. You ain't nothing to me. That's how I am. And in order to break generational curses, unfortunately, that's how you gotta unplug. You gotta unplug and be relentless about it. And people still gonna have something to say. People still gonna be mad because you're unplugging from negativity so that you can heal your own generational family curses. So your children won't have to deal with that. And they won't do their children like that. And that children, your grandchildren won't do your great-grandchildren and so forth like that. I'm not having it. I'm happy that the ancestors put me on the road that I'm on. I'm the happiest I have ever been, at the most peace I've ever had. And I know they see it. I know they see it. I know I got relatives that still watch my page, and y'all still some motherfucking haters. Y'all still the same miserable ass haters y'all always been. And I know y'all still talk y'all shit because I don't believe in y'all whack ass wizard, sky wizard no more. But guess what? You still watching though. Go ahead and watch me get my wings, bitch, because I'm going to fly and I'm going to float. I'm going to float on my feet. I'm going to float on my feet when I'm walking on land, and I'm going to fly in the sky when I'm receiving my wings to do what I do. When the ancestors while they're giving me my elevation, to have the success and the love I deserve. Because that shit I grew up with and that shit I grew up around, that dark energy, I didn't deserve that. I didn't even deserve to have a mother. Most times kids don't deserve their parents. And sometimes parents don't deserve their damn kids. Sometimes they don't. It just is what it is. But on that note, this is part 1 of family curses that I wanted to talk about in my own family. And I know a lot of people can relate. The bottom line is, guess what? Now they got to eat foot stew. Because sis ain't crazy. Sis ain't talking to demons. Sis is helping people heal. Now y'all quiet. Where y'all at? I don't hear y'all talking now. Where y'all at? That's what I thought. Happy Wednesday, y'all. See y'all on part 2.